Hello guys, Siva Live. So today we have my Monotype Seasonals round 6. I'm in the losers bracket unfortunately because I got knocked out of winners by Trichotomy. He pulled up with some counter teams and they actually worked out pretty well because like game 1 he pulled out HP Ice Diancie, which actually ended up popping my Landorus like last turn. I brought Rock Polish versus Fairy, and he actually managed to win that because he had late game HP Ice, which he told me later on was for Gliscor. So that was just good prep on his part. And then game 2 was like 50-50s where he brought in Latios on my guard chop, but I could have Draco to knock them out because I was mega. But anyway, we got my round 6 games versus Chaitanya. You see I pulled up with the bullshit because I was not trying to lose. It's this gay ass, excuse my language, but this gay man, whatever. He pulled up with some super counter team Fairy. Like, I'll show it right here. I mean, I guess I'm showing my builder, but I have so many teams and I build on the spot usually for everything anyway, so it doesn't matter. Where is it? Coco. What was this? Yeah, this team I was really afraid of versing. So it has sub Thunderbolt, Grass Knot, HP Ice, Coco. I mean sub plus T-Bolt will kill Celesteela with the Magnet Boost slash, I think it was Expert Bell. I would run Expert Bell if I was a set, but like, because that allows you to actually KO Landers and deal with Gliscor. I think Gliscor will die after rocks, but like, yeah, this set I was really afraid of, and these two Pokemon deal with a lot of what I'm kind of known to use, and then he has the Mimikyu for like Psychic. So I was really afraid. I was really afraid of versing this team, so I pulled up with a direct counter team, and I'm pretty confident in my in playing stall, like more than any other archetype. I think I'm probably most confident in playing stall or like bulky offense, not bulky offense, or semi-stall. So I pulled up with this team because you see on this we have a Zoom Roll plus Toxapex for Bulu, though Woodhammer after rocks will kill Toxapex, and then we have Protect on everything too. And then this can't beat Lantern, which is the main reason why I want to bring Lantern. And then everything else is pretty explanatory. Toxapex walling everything, and then Speedy Mantine to haze this thing's boost away. So like, very scary team I was expecting, but he ends up bringing Dark because I do use Psychic a lot, I guess. So he brings this Dark, and you see later on that he ends up revealing he was Taunt Hydreigon, which was a good bring on his part, but it didn't actually beat this type of team, unfortunately. Yeah, so let's just get right into it. This game's pretty long, but I'm gonna skip through a lot of it because it's pretty explanatory. Like, it got to a point where he couldn't break my team and he forfeited like 100 turns in or so. But we'll skip through a lot. I'll just go through like the important parts. So I lead Greninja in case he let over the Hydreigon or something. I get a free damage. If he leads Sableye, I go into Pex anyway. Goes for Protect. I'm gonna go for a Bunker here. In case he wants to go for the potential knockoff, because if I get the poison off, it wears them down faster than a burn does, as I do get that poison. So gonna throw off a Scald as he's gonna knock me off, and I'm assuming burn me too, which doesn't really matter. I was like really happy that he knocked me off because that means that Bisharp doesn't check me. I mean, Bisharp doesn't really deal with me like at all. So gonna go for the Scald here as he goes for the burn now. So now he's going to recover here as I go for another Scald. And it's just rinse and repeat because I can't actually beat Sableye, but I could definitely stall it out. So he goes into Tyranitar as I'm going to recover. And here I go into my Swampert because I can either trade or knock out his Sableye and switch in as he brings out his Sableye. I do knock out his Sableye if he wants to try and burn me here, but the thing is, like, there's no point trying to do that because I have Heal Bell in the back, so I don't lose anything by going for this. So I'm gonna try and kill his Sableye here as he pivots into Hydreigon here. I should have Toxic there. The switch was very, very obvious, and if I Toxic here, the game literally was over. Like, he would have forfeited right here Because you'll see right here is when I suspected something was up, because he had leftovers. I'm like, okay, that's no set. So if he's leftovers, he's probably some stall breaker set. Gonna go into my Azumarill just to scout to see what he wants to do, and he is the taunt roost set or something, which I versed a few times. Just gonna throw off a whirlpool. I just was seeing what he has to hit me with. So now I'm gonna go out into my Toxapex on the next Dark Pulse, and basically I'm like, okay, I have to stall this thing out of Dark Pulse to actually deal with it. I'm gonna go into my Azumarill as he goes for another Dark Pulse, and then I'm gonna go for a Protect, because with Protect and leftovers I actually beat him 1v1. Now I don't beat him 1v1 per se, but he doesn't out damage my leftovers recovery. So as long as I keep my leftovers up, Azumarill will always be able to pivot on Hydreigon. So I'm going to go into my Swampert as he goes directly for his Steelium Z. I guess because Steelium Z wasn't going to do anything, and it would do more to Swampert. I'm going to go for a Toxicgear because the Mana Buzz is really obvious. Or Hydreigon. And if I could catch Hydreigon, which I was trying to get because that would end the game, obviously, yeah, I would be able to basically end the game there. But I'm going to go into my Toxapex here on the Toxic, or because he was either going to Toxic or double out into Sableye, so Pex kind of covered both. I'm going to go into my Lantern here to try and get a Heal Bell on the Mandibuzz. As he pivots down to Tyranitar, I'm going to get a Toxic on this because I think you'd get your Rocks up here. And now I can Heal Bell. I think no, I go for Volt Switch here because I didn't want his Hydreigon coming in. But looking back, I probably should have just... Nah, because there's no point. There's no point taking damage on my Lantern anyway. So I'm going to go into my Toxapex here to see what he has to hit me with. As he goes for an Earthquake, so that's a little bit annoying. Gonna double out into my Swampert. No, not yet. I'm gonna recover just so I'm at a higher amount of HP, and Earthquake doesn't actually 2-hit KO me at that range, and I want it to be healthier. So he pivots out into Hydreigon. I think here I go out into Azumarill. No. I bunker because I wanted to try. With Rocks up, his Hydreigon actually beats me. Like, he doesn't have to switch, but the fact that he is switching gave me an opportunity to actually pull this back. Because while it kind of looks like I'm winning, with Rocks up, Hydreigon beats my entire team with Taunt and Dark Pulse. So, yeah, I'm going to bunker as he brings out Bisharp. I'm assuming predicting my Azumarill because he can set up on that for free. Gonna go for a... not a Scald. I'm going to go into Swampert because I wanted to try and get Rocks up potentially, or knock out the Sableye if I can. So I'm going to go into my Greninja on a potential Dark Pulse or whatever you'd want to do there. As he doubles out into Bisharp, he goes for the SD. I'm just going to throw off a Scald because he did knock off my item, and I felt like he'd go for a Sucker Punch there, but I can try and fish for the burn. That would make Bisharp useless as I do get the burn. So gonna recover as he goes down to Sableye. So here is where he choked, as I said. And also the thing is with stall is that some people don't know how to play versus it. He actually had the game won. All he had to do was stay in with Hydreigon and keep Rocks up. That's all. I can't even kill, nothing from Greninja will even kill Hydreigon from full. So, like, all he has to do is stay in with Hydra, click Taunt, Roost, Dark Pulse through everything on my team, and he honestly would have won. But he goes into Sableye to recover, which he doesn't need Sableye anymore, but he actually gives me the opportunity to try and get the defog off. So here, I'm going to go for the defog as he gives me that defog and doesn't go hard to Tyranitar. As he goes for the knockoff, which doesn't matter because this thing was going to get knocked off by Sableye anyway. Yeah, so I'm going to go into my Toxapex here on a potential Will-O-Wisp / knockoff here. And now I'm going to pivot out into my Swampert because I was assuming you'd want to go into Tyranitar here to get your Rocks up. And if I can get off an Earthquake, then I should be able to win from just a couple turns ago being where I probably lost the game. So I'm going to go for an Earthquake here, and I do crit. The roll is 70 to 83, so I had a chance to kill. Would have definitely been a high roll, but Toxic would have knocked him out as well. And I could potentially use Greninja to force Hydreigon out somehow. I'd have to go into Gren, and then I have to like U-turn out into Lantern. I have to go lead Gren, U-turn out. I gotta go Gren, U-turn out into Lantern, and then pivot back into Greninja, U-turn out, and then I can get the defog off there. So that's what I had to do. But he gives me Tyranitar here, so now the game's basically over. I can't lose. So you'll see here I throw away my win condition that could speed up the game. But yeah, all I have to do is switch around versus Hydreigon and stall it out of Dark Pulses. Once it's out of Dark Pulses, it can't do anything. Once it's out of Taunt, it can't do anything. So between Regenerator, Azumarill, and Heal Bell, like I should have this game won. So you'll see me go back into Azu here as he goes for the Taunt, which doesn't matter. I think here I go back into Pex. Yeah, and like rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. You'll see a little later I kind of throw. Not throw, but I give him a little bit of leeway. But I get the Heal Bell off, and now Pex isn't even burned. I can just keep bringing this in. His win con is to try and burn my Azumarill. And then he can maybe wear it down. Even with the burn, like I still have Heal Bell, so it's a struggle for him, honestly. Yeah, so in the Pex, switch around, stay in. Like, I gotta do this. Like, I have to just stall him out. And yeah, so he pivots into Gren a couple times just to like he's trying to pivot around the waste bunker PP, I guess. Like to try and waste my own PP. But I think I outstall him anyway. Switching around a lot. Switching around more times. Switching around more times. Some pro double switches here. Yup. Some nice double switch, nice triple switching, right? Yup. Yeah, it goes into so I think here I caught him. Yeah, because I go for Vol Switch as he brings in Sableye, and then I bring in my Swampert. And then I think here was where he went Hydreigon. No. One of the turns he went Hydreigon. I could have gotten off a Toxic. But goes on to Mandibuzz, doubles back into Hydra. If I Toxic there, I won, but that's not really a play because I'm not trying to risk it. Every time he goes Mandibuzz, I always go Lantern. Because then I could get off a Heal Bell for free, or I can pivot with Voltage. So that's every time you'll see. Every time he goes Mandibuzz, I will always go Lantern. Every single time. As you'll see, either Lantern or Toxapex. Like I have really good switches to it. Goes for the Taunt. I'm gonna go for the Ice Beam here because I figured you'd go into Bisharp on the U-turn or Mandibuzz, but he actually makes it a really aggressive, makes a really good play here and stays in and actually catches me with the Flamethrower. So that was just a really solid play on his part. It doesn't actually, I mean, you get style points, but you still lose because you still can't break me. So yeah, that's why I was like, whoops. But yeah, we just switch around more times. Yeah, switch around more times, and then later you'll see. So here, goes on a Hydra. I go into Mantine. I think here it doubles into Greninja, and then I double back into Mantine. No, I double into Toxapex, and he gunks. There was a couple turns. It wasn't here. It was a little bit later on. He brings a Greninja again on Mantine, and he goes for the Gunk Shot, and I go for his Scald to get up damage. And then I go into Pex on the next Gunk Shot, as he does go for that. And then I knew he'd make some OG aggressive play, because that's the way he plays. He plays similar to Bit, except Bit's a little bit more aggressive. But he makes some choke plays that don't really make sense, or just like trying to, you know, I don't know, trying to make some OG aggressive plays. But I don't have to make plays to win this. I have switches to everything on the team. Rocks aren't up, and I have my leftovers still intact on the Azumarill, so I don't have to make plays. So I go for the Scald here, as I get a crit burn, and Greninja's dead, and he can't win at all now. Like I can just switch around versus everything. More switches, more double, triple switches, and he forfeits around this time because the game is over. So that was game one. This game honestly took like an hour to play. Like I was feeling drained. So yeah, we're gonna go on to game two, and we're back with game two. So I brought this Lax team that I stole from Lax. but I think I optimized his EV spread a little bit. But basically, it's built around Lax, and you still keep intact the Encore low punny to deal with Suicune and stuff. Because this thing can beat water, but you need Encore to actually beat it. Though Sabella's variant uses like Pidgeot and Diggersby, but then you lose the Staraptor, which is pretty important for this defensive core right here. The infamous Chansey, Porygon, Staraptor defensive core. That's really hard for a lot of teams to break. So I thought this team would be good. I was expecting like Steel, and I see he doesn't use Bisharp on a lot of his Steel teams. So Lax can literally just set up and go. Like I curse up and beat everything. Especially because my set is so defensive. Like with my EV spread, you can actually beat mons like Specs Keldeo and let me show the calc right here. Snorlax. 252 with 120, and then I think it was 170. I think it's something like this. No, it's less than that. Yeah. So say Keldeo, Secret Sword doesn't even kill from full. That's crazy. Snorlax is fat. Anyway, so you bring in Snorlax for something that's obviously not Keldeo. You curse up once. They Secret Sword, you pop your berry, you curse them again, and now you actually avoid the 2-hit KO from Secret Sword most of the time. Same thing with Terrakion, and these are both obviously huge threats to normal. Same thing with Close Combat, +2, they don't actually beat you, so you curse on something that this is versus Rock, because versus Fighting you're going to lose, most likely, but if you could somehow set up versus Keldeo maybe you could do something, but you curse up, they bring in Terrakion, you curse up again, and now you avoid 2 KO, so you can actually recycle spam and then knock it out if you need this thing healthy, or you can just beat it 1v1 potentially. So yeah, he brings this bullshit Psychic team that I've seen before, but I didn't remember the sets at the time. I could tell. I guess I could say it now. No, I don't want to reveal it. But he brings. This is a really bullshit bad team. And I didn't expect him to bring this because, you know, he hasn't used this team in a long time. I guess because nobody in their right mind in a team tournament would let him bring this bullshit. But I guess he likes to bring this for super counter teams because he likes using really matchup oriented teams where like you just auto win like 4 or 5 matchups, which I guess is fair. I do the same thing, but I don't pull up with really bad, like just bad squads. Like he's a good player, but like this type of shit. Anyway, let's get right into it. I lead off with Staraptor, predicting maybe Banditini to lead off with. He leads off with Jirachi. He goes for his rocks, so I'm just gonna trade rocks here as he goes directly into his Dio. So here I was, I calced if he was knockoff Psycho Boost wouldn't actually KO me. So I can actually just beat him 1v1, and I don't really need my EVO Life or anything. As he reveals he's superpowered too, so I ran a calc as well. Non-invested superpower doesn't actually KO me at that range, but he crit me, so I was like, what the fuck, man? I was really mad. But he shows later on that he's some mixed spread with like Adamant and 200 EVs. So here I make some really dog-ass shit play that made no sense. I was assuming he was physically oriented with max attack, which was stupid. Because all Dios, if you're gonna run offensive, are mixed, and they're probably always gonna carry Psycho Boost. But the what's it called? I don't know. It was just a really bad play. I can't get behind this play. I just made sometimes I don't know why. Sometimes I'm in the zone. Sometimes I make some bad plays with some stupid assumptions or whatever. And this is just one of those. I'm trying to decrease this happening. I'm trying to, but sometimes it just happens when I get tilted. And this was the turn that tilted me. Man, because that superpower crit just tilted me. Anyway, goes for these Psycho Boosts, knocks me out. So this Dio alone 6-0s me. and considering he has Healing Wish, I pretty much at this point was figuring out I'd lose the game. The only way I could win is maybe pulling back something with Snorlax if I get enough Curse Boost. So I'm going to go into Staraptor here, and I'm going to U-turn, I think. No, I go for Roost in case he wants to go for an Ice Beam or Psychic Boost again. He brings out Jirachi. I guess I should have defogged there, looking back at it. But I don't think it matters. Gonna go into my Staraptor here. I was predicting a superpower or knockoff to come out there. No, a knockoff to come out there to try and get rid of my Eviolite. But he goes for the Psycho Boost here, which was a good read on his part. But like he didn't lose anything, because you'll see later on, like he has a lot of things for the rest of my team. So like he didn't lose anything by making that read. Is what I'm trying to say. So you can go out to his Jirachi here as I go out into P2. He's gonna go for a U-turn here, as I think I'll go for a Recover, because I was assuming he'd try and flinch me down or Thunder Wave me. Gonna go out to my Snorlax because I gotta try and pull something back. Like legit, I knew he Toxic, but I have to dodge and I gotta get off a bunch of curses to do anything in this game. He goes down to Jirachi. I'm gonna get off a curse, and I think I'm gonna go for a Fire Punch and hope that I crit or something, because he's gonna try and flinch me down. As he goes for a Trick, as he reveals he Stealth Rock Trick Jirachi, and this game tilted me so bad because I forgot he was this bullshit ass set. Like he always pulls up with some. Oh, this is a fist. And he always pulls up with some bullshit like this in seasonals, and like this team sucks ass, but like when it gets matchup, like it gets matchup, and you just can't really win. So like this match was so bad for me. He had Healing Wish plus Scarf Trick Jirachi plus Superpower, like plus Mixed Dio with a lot of attack investment to I'm assuming to always 2-hit KO Chansey, which is he was like 200 with admin or something, or naive or whatever the thing is for like plus attack and minus Spadef, I'm assuming, or something. I think that's Rash or something like that, whatever. And I'm pretty sure this was Stallbreaker Mew, if I remember correctly. Either that or Zeb, either or shit on me. So like I don't know, man. He pulled up with some bullshit, and I couldn't win this at this point. Like I think I just forfeit here, because I couldn't pull back anything. P2 can't win, because one, even if he tricks away like he can trick again and steal my Eviolite and give me an Iapapa. So like I really couldn't win this game at all. So we're gonna be right back with game 3. And here we have game 3. So I brought this ground team that I built earlier in the week. It was mainly to beat that fairy team I was mentioning, with Scarf Diggersby, Z Garchomp, Life Orb this, ban this. A lot of tools to beat fairy. And this thing is 220 speed, because I messed that up before in another team and ended up losing a really important game because I wasn't 220 speed, but for Jolly Azumarill. So like we have a lot of tools to deal with fairy. Anyway, he pulls up with Ice. Game 3. Game 3. Who puts their cards, who puts all their chips on the line with Ice in game 3? Like this was insane to me. Like I'm like, what the fuck? Who brings Ice game 3? Like what? Anyway, I can win this, but I knew it was gonna be really tough. It was gonna come down to some 50-50s, because he has this Mon. This Mon already beats me. He's got this Mon that clicks Freeze Dry, Scarf this, Amazon can be anything. I don't know, man. Like I was already feeling tilted from game 2, but I just calmed down. I was like, okay, let me just think this out and play through this, because I really wanted to win, because I'm trying to get that Monotype medal, but I have to just calm down, think this through, and actually play this out. So I was like, okay, he's probably gonna lead off with Ninetales to try and get off his thing. Even if I lead off with a Powdon, he gets off a free Freeze Dry, or can pivot out into Avalugg to get off a spin. So like I was assuming the Ninetales lead would come out. I lead off with Diggersby, and I weighted the timer down a lot, because I wanted him to think that I'm thinking what Mon to sack basically, or what mod to go out into, because I'm assuming he probably went for freeze dry here or blizzard. I guess he doesn't really lose anything from going for the Aurora Veil because he doesn't kill Diggersby anyway. And I ran a calc here. Frustration from Jolly will KO a non-HP invested Ninetales, but if he is max HP, it does like 86 to 102, and I'm not trying to risk him living, so if I'm gonna stay in here, I'm gonna click Gunk Shot and get the KO, because Gunk Shot will KO 100%. So I go for the Gunk, hoping that I connect, and we connect. And I was so happy because that means I can actually win this game. But now we have another threat because Cloyster is gonna come in, and there's nothing I could do to stop Cloyster from coming in anyway. Because even if I click Frustration and he was non-HP and I killed him, he still brings out Cloyster and Shell Smashes. So I'm gonna bring out my Hippowdon here on his Shell Smash, and I had a feeling like, because Chaitanya is really aggressive, he's a really aggressive player. And most people would sack like Garchomp to bring in Excadrill. And he's a really aggressive player. And even if he Shell Smashes here and I stay in, he doesn't lose the game. So I feel like he would stay in and smash. And I get the play right. So I go for Whirlwind here. Send out Cloyster. Because if I sack there, Bandit Excadrill's Earthquake will knock him out. He is at -1. Rock Slide, Iron Head, they all KO him, I'm pretty sure. Because he's at -1 and I'm adamant choice band. So he brings out Mamoswine. I'm gonna trade rocks here. Gonna keep my, I think I keep my eject button. No, I go for a Whirlwind here, predicting him to maybe switch out or stay in and go for Ice Shard to pop my eject button. As he goes out into Weavile here, and here I'm gonna go into my Garchomp. I was playing as if he was banned at this point, because banned Weavile, Scarf this, maybe Sash, Life Orb, Mamo, and Z set of Cloyster. That's what I was assuming he was anyway. So he misses the crash here. Go out into my Hippowdon to pop my eject button, as he reveals here that he's most likely Scarf based off that damage. I did calculate, and Scarf does around that range to max Fizz Def Hippo. So I'm going to pop my eject button, bring out my Excadrill here. And Earthquake is free. It does 2 KO everything after Rocks and Sand, as he sacks the Kyurem here. I didn't want to take the potential Rocky Helmet because I need this thing for Weavile. So, what's it called? He goes out into Avalok now. I'm going to go out into my Seismitoad on the Rapid Spin. I could have brought out Landorus, but if he did go for the Avalanche, I couldn't actually kill him with anything because Iron Head won't kill him at that range. Dragonium wouldn't kill. Scald won't kill because I'm not max special invested, and like Frustration won't kill. So if I went out on the Landers, he got the spin off anyway. So alright, I gotta pause real quick because Discord. Alright, sorry about that. So he goes for the Rapid Spin there as I bring in Size. So here I'm just gonna Scald something because I either get a KO or I break the Focus Sash on Mamoswine, as he reveals Toxic. I've seen some ice teams. I didn't know they ran Toxic. I thought they ran like Roar, Earthquake, or Avalanche, something like that. It is kind of bad though, because I am letting my Seismitoad get whittled. So I'm gonna Scald there. He's gonna bring out the Cloyster here. So if I made some OG read, I could have saved my Seismitoad, but I felt like staying in was just the best play, because I can probably live an Icicle Spear and get damage off, as well as that's crazy though, how little that did. Like, I might have lived this from full with Seismitoad, even if I let him smash. It's kind of crazy. So yeah, I'm gonna sack my Seismitoad here. So it's kind of bad because Weavile can put in work, because Scarf is going to be an issue. So I'm gonna go into my Garchomp here. I do live an Ice Shard if he has it. They usually don't carry it though. They carry like Hydro Pump, Icicle Spear, and Rock Blast or something like that. As I go for my Z, knock something out. Didn't really need to preserve my Z for anything. He goes into his Weavile here, as I'm just gonna sack my Garchomp because I don't really need it anymore. Gonna go out into my Hippowdon here, and then I'm gonna sack my Landers so I can bring in my Excadrill and go for a game from there. Because Iron Head would 2 KO would kill the Weavile, and it would 2-KO Mamoswine, and then I do have Scarf Diggersby at the end of the day. He makes a good play, a really good play, and goes out to Mamoswine on the Landorus Landorus sack. I'm going to bring out my Diggersby though, because I will be able to live in Ice Shard and either kill the Weavile or 2-KO this. And now I can go out into my Excadrill, and because I did preserve my HP from before, I can actually take this hit. On second thought, I could have went out into Powdon, and because I counted later, Scarf Ice Crash can KO me. It's like a 50% roll. It's like 55. I think it was 50 to 62 or something like that, and I was at 56, I think, something like that after rocks. I think 59 because it does quad resist, something like that. But yeah, I'm gonna go into my Hippowdon here on the potential Icicle Crash as he goes for an Ice Shard. 2-KOs my Hippowdon, and then I'm gonna knock him out with Excadrill. So really solid games versus Chaitanya. This game had me like really hyped. Like afterwards, I was like, this was a really good game. The Icicle Crash honestly sucked, but I don't think I played it badly. It's not like Scarf Weavile is super common. It's not like Ice is super common either. And he did have a Kyurem, so I was playing as if this was banded, and that was the right play if he was choice banned. Anyway, managed a win versus Chaitanya, so we do move on to the next round of Monotype Seasonals. So hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later.